Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right, so we're back. We've got our additional players now, so we're going to go ahead and stream the second session 0 for the evening. Before we get into that real quick, I'm going to introduce the rest of the players. We have Seth.
Hello.
And Jordan.
Hey.
We've got Lance. And we've got Nat.
What's up, guys?
All right. So we're going to start with Lance. You woke up from what you would have almost called a fever dream. You know it's not, of course, because you've been having these dreams for a little while now. You know that there is something, someone out there reaching out to you, imbuing you with a little bit of power, a little bit of ability. And whoever or whatever it is has given you a mission. About a week ago or so, you started to feel the nausea and the weakness starting to set in, and you started to feel the pain, echoes of the accident that took your life. And if there hadn't been clerics around to revive you, would have claimed your life totally. You recovered from that, didn't think anything of it. It's a long time ago. But now, with the events of the past week, you are acutely reminded of your own mortality as the injury is starting to reassert itself, and you feel your life essence oozing away.
Has there been any, is it just the feeling, or has there been any physical...
It's just the feeling for now.
Okay.
You haven't been able to really
Right.
see what's going on up there, but talking with some of the people around the settlement, you ask them, "Can you take a look at this? What's going on?" They don't see anything.
Okay.
It's all cool. Nothing untoward is happening. But this day, you have awoken with the pressing message in your mind that you need to go south. You need to seek out whatever is causing the curse, and best you can tell, it's far south. Roll me a history check real quick for
17.
17? Okay. Best guess, probably Schult. And you've heard some stories about that distant land. You've never been there, never had any opportunity to go that far south, but you've heard some stories, so you think, that'll be pretty cool. You know it's too big a job for one person. So your first thought is your sister. She's good with a sword, might be handy in a scrape. So you go to look for her. She's not there. Hasn't been there for a couple of days, in fact. Make an investigation check.
13.
13, okay.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry. 17.
17, okay. Asking around, talking to the stable boys and the squires and the people that are in the know, she gathered supplies, saddled her horse, and rode out. She did not tell anyone where she was going.
Your sound's
Echo.
So our sound's working.
Audio's
Awesome.
working, guys.
Awesome. For all two of us. They're both in the room right now.
No shame. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So she rode south. So you know of a couple of other people that you would trust with something like this. Helps one of them's kind of cute. So you set about gathering your own things, and you make your way out of the settlement on your way to see, and I had it in my notes and I've lost my notes. What?
Cereal.
Serial. So you're on your way to see Serial.
I like cereal.
On the road, you meet Seth.
You see a very pale, tall man wandering down the road, sword and shield on his back. A rather jovial step, despite a rather odd-looking effect around his eye where it looks very rotten. A black, almost tar-like substance forming around and streaming down his face, and where you swear that there should be an eye, there is none, yet a glowing light emanates from deep within the abyss of where the eye should be.
Slightly disconcerting.
A little bit.
Are there very many people who travel this road?
You're off of the main trade routes, but the road that you're on leads to them. It's not unheard of for other people to be on the road, but it's somewhat unusual. I will, however, take from you a history check. And he's
13.
13. The cut of his clothes, the fashion of his clothes is familiar. It's the fashions that are most often found in the court of the neighboring kingdom's king.
Which way is he heading? Same way as me?
Seems to be headed the same way you are.
How's it going?
Aside from a long and lonely road, not terribly.
That's good.
What brings you heading south?
Where am I headed, Keith? Where am I going?
You're heading for a monastery that you know where your friend Sariel is most often to be found.
The monastery, just about 10, 15 miles down the road. Where are you bound?
Actually,
same direction.
the same direction. My lordship has fallen ill, and I hope that I may be able to find answers.
Interesting. I haven't seen many travelers from your part of the world in a while.
Well, to be fair, it's a happy country. We do not have many needs outside.
How fortuitous.
Make a history check.
That'll be a nat 20.
There's something familiar about your companion on the road. You've seen him before, or at least tapestries depicting someone that looks an awful lot like him. You'd swear that he was perhaps a ruler of the neighboring kingdom?
Well, if we're traveling in the same direction, there's safety in numbers. Might as well stick together while we're bound to the same place.
I would be happy for the companionship.
Does take a couple of days. 15 miles afoot. It's going to take you a couple of days, even on a road. You guys don't run into anyone else on the roads. It's kind of quiet, peaceful. Late in the second day, the road does kick uphill into the mountains. There's a cleft between two rather large peaks, and situated right in the middle of the canyon, basically, is the monastery where your friend Sariel most often resides. You're no stranger to this area. The monks who stand by the gate, they see you, they smile, they nod at you, and they usher you in.
Wave at him and walk in.
And then they pause for a moment. He with you?
You coming in, friend?
If I may. And I politely bow to the monks of the monastery.
He okay. Come on in. So you've been here a few times. You know the main path leads up to sort of the central building of the monastery, and you know that's where the training areas are. And when she's not doing other things, that's where you will find Sariel. You're about halfway there when you're intercepted by one of the acolytes. Oh, Missy not here.
I'm gonna look around for a minute to make sure that they're talking to me. What do you mean not here?
Oh, she have friends come talk, and then they go.
Where?
They not say. They just look like headed south.
And you don't know why?
No.
Have these friends ever come by before?
Didn't recognize shorter one. Kind of sneaky though. Taller one looked kind of like you.
Very descriptive. Well, all right then. Thanks for the message, and I'll give him a silver.
Oh, thank you. And it's at this point that you see, sort of striding down the path from the other direction, a very powerful female figure. You recognize her as the only name you've ever gotten is Pei, but you recognize her as sort of the head of the order here. And with her is Jordan. Hmm? Oh,
It's just
so it is. Sorry.
the chat is being helpful.
Still getting the hang of this. Sorry, guys. So, Jordan.
Okay. So I'm walking with whom?
Hey.
Okay. And I'm wearing a wide conical like straw hat with a kind of working man's garb, a kimono type shirt done up in a hakama, sleeves rolled up to the forearm, hands wrapped, and a long past the knee length vest over the top of that, with a few floral designs, but mostly simple. The only part of me that doesn't look simple farmer is the katana I have on each side of my waist. Be underneath one katana would be a wakizashi, and I'm as I'm walking, I'm just kind of casually stroking my chin tendrils, which could only be best described as like a fleshy, longer Asian-like goatee. I am a core. Why do I know this person?
So this order is the order that revived you and your family.
I figured.
You've been here for several months in hiding with your family, and
Mimi and Kento.
okay, I will try to remember that. I will probably forget.
No problem. I have it written down.
Okay, so you've been here for several months, basically hiding out. As you're in conversation with Pei, talking about not much of anything the conversation comes around to the fact that all three of you have been feeling a little under the weather lately. For you, it's been sort of a fire that sort of emanates from your belly. If you didn't know better, you'd say it was, a phantom reminder of the sword blow that you took in your gut that killed you. But that's not possible, though, right? Because that's not the way resurrection is. That's not the way resurrection works.
How curious.
You are not the only one on these grounds who has complained of phantom injuries returning. Several others have as well. Several others have fallen quite ill and are no longer able to keep up with their duties.
Her name's Pei, right?
Pei.
Tell me, Pei, are these others as well as my family in danger?
We're not certain. We have heard rumors that it is not local to here, that it is in fact widespread, but we have no way of knowing. And at this point, she looks up, and you look up as well, and you see these two standing there. You see Seth, and we never really got a description of Lance. So let's hear Lance.
So I'm human. I'm just about 6 foot. Shoulder length, kind of messy, almost like he forgets to keep it looking nice and smoothed out. Long brown hair. I'm wearing a chain shirt, and I've sort of got like a leather jacket over the top of it, and a sword and shield on my back. And other than that, looks pretty nondescript, like your typical sellsword maybe.
Okay, have I seen either of them before?
You have not.
Okay. Are these new friends, Pei?
I don't know. I have not seen them yet before. Let us go meet them.
Yes, let us offer hospitality.
So you do see these two.
And I don't know anything about Pei, right?
You've seen her around when you visited. Obviously, your attention has been elsewhere.
Right.
Yes. We so rarely get travelers here. How may we offer you hospitality?
I bow.
I return the bow. I come seeking guidance. I heard that there is an elder here who is well known for his healing arts.
Oh yes. Ming. Yes.
If I may, it would please me greatly to be able to speak with this Ming.
Oh, certainly. I'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
I'm afraid I was looking for a friend of mine, but she has since headed south. So
Who is your friend?
her name is Serial.
Have I heard this name?
You've heard the name around. It's one of the young monks that studies here. Quite into the martial arts. Can often be found in the gardens when she's not training. You've not interacted with her much though. Oh yes, she was called away by a couple of friends. I'm not certain where they've gone or when they will be back.
No matter. I'm heading south anyway, so I'll see if I can't catch up with them.
Okay.
She's a skilled fighter.
Yes, she is. You are not wrong.
You know from personal experience. Well, let us see what we can find from Ming, and so she'll turn and lead you down a third path towards a cluster of cottages off to the side.
I can escort them if it would please you.
I have nothing else to do today?
May I tag along, as I do not either.
Of course, of course. So she leads you to another. She leads you to one of the cottages in this little circle, without even knocking. Sort of ducks through. The smell of the incense hits you quite heavily as you enter the space. There is this withered little old man sitting lotus style in the middle of the floor. He's got incense sticks burning all around him. His eyes are closed, and he appears to be meditating. Ming, there is a gentleman here who wishes to speak with you. One sort of watery blue eye opens, cuts to the side. All right. And he unfolds himself and he stands up. And as he does, he's a lot taller than you thought he was. He's real thin and real tall. But as it seems like time and age has sort of bowed him over and stooped him. So he if he was all the way up, he'd be extra tall. As it is, he's even stooped over. He's about a half a head taller than the tallest of you. And he sort of leans on a cane and he turns and he looks. All right, which one of you needs me?
Ming, I bow kindly. I've heard tells that you are a master of the healing arts.
I've been known to use a poultice or two in my time, yes.
The kingdoms of the north, we are having, I dare say, a plague of sorts.
What sort of plague?
People who were brought back from close death or death experiences who are complaining of pains. This is most troubling because my lordship
My eyes go wide.
is suffering from this as well as myself.
My eyebrows raised from underneath my conical.
I was hoping perhaps it was localized.
Everybody roll a perception check.
What is my perception?
Natural
bonus?
20.
Is that my perception?
Your
bonus?
perception bonus is...
It's on his computer. Sorry, guys. We'll bring physical
4.
copies.
So
4. Okay, so I got a 20 non-natural.
non-natural 20. What did you get?
Perception-wise?
Yes.
I didn't realize I also needed to, but mine is a 2.
A 2. Okay.
Or
so
no, sorry, a 15.
15. So there's a difference.
That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
Oh dear lord.
So
Oh, no.
so all of you hear from behind you from Pei.
My chin slightly turns that way, but I don't make eye contact with her gasp, and I'll just wait.
I believe that is confirmation. Yes?
Of what me and my family are going through.
Yes. You say all of the nations of the north.
As far as the many writers have been able to tell, we've been searching out healers from every nook and cranny where we could find them.
We have heard tales from the south with the same symptoms you speak of.
My family and I suffer them.
So Ming is sort of leaning on his cane.
What could cause this?
I think this might be beyond my power.
If the healing arts are not working, is it fell magic or have the gods forsaken us?
You hear a little cough from behind Pei. And it's the little acolyte that stopped you and told you that your friend isn't here anymore. Missy went south looking. She say she go far, far south.
Looking for the answers to this problem.
Yes,
The answers lie in the south.
yes.
I must pack my things.
How far south?
Very far south. In Jolt.
What knowledge do you have of this?
An omen from the gods was given to some members of my family. And we have come to know that this curse originates in Jolt. I myself am actually headed there, and I could use some more manpower.
Well,
When you say originates, do you mean originates from the hand of the gods? Or a curse outside of their control?
I do not know.
I am with you. Please give me a moment to pack things and say goodbye to my family.
Of course.
What was his name?
Ming.
Ming, my friend. You have saved me in a time that no one made you do so. I only ask now that as I try to solve this problem, my family may stay with you a while longer.
Their place. They have a place here. Yes, they have a place.
I owe you more than I can ever say.
Maybe, maybe not.
They're keeping a running tally. every meal.
Here's my gold.
I must go make preparations for your travel as well. Excuse me. And she bows herself out. Seemed a little odd.
preparations for.
Quite the hurry for someone who is supposedly not coming. Will you be coming?
I'm afraid I must. I have sworn that I will find whatever this ailment is and do my best to end it. And perhaps the gods have not abandoned us if it has brought us together.
Yes, seems like providence.
Definitely.
So Ming, sort of seeing that his skills will not be of any use, sort of folds himself back down, and you hear the crackling of his joints as he sort of settles him back into the lotus position. And before he closes his eyes completely, he hawks up another loogie and spits off to the side. And then he closes his eyes and starts meditating once more.
And I give him a bow before.
The young acolyte is turning to leave right ahead of you. If you have anything you want to ask. No? Okay.
Can't think of any.
Okay, so you go and gather your things and get ready to leave.
Quickie time.
Quick time. Quick time. Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah, no. Quickie time.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, me.
Get your affairs in order.
Yes, I get my affairs in order.
Right.
Exactly.
I will say bye to my son.
Okay, so
Kento as well.
we'll say about 45 minutes later, everything's prepared, everything's ready, and Pei actually comes and finds you all again. Are you ready to travel?
Yes,
Quite. Thank you.
Okay.
Mimi, Kento, I will return. I will be successful. Trust me.
There's sort of tears in your wife's eyes, and your son is sort of just hanging on her leg and just sort of staring up at you and waving bye-bye, ready to go. And Pei leads you guys up towards the main.
He's like 11, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
He's not like super small.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But no, that's fine.
Okay. Well, he's standing there stoically then, just kind of.
I lean down to his level. Remember to protect your mother. With the sword I gave you, you protect this family.
He just sort of nods at you. Pei leads you up to the main building. Across the main hall. You've been in the Great Hall several times. You've been there a couple of times. She leads you all the way across and through a set of double doors at the back, pulling it closed behind her. And you get the sense that as she's doing it, she's making sure that there's no one else in the room as she's closing the door. And she turns. What I am about to reveal, I would never do so except under extreme duress, but I believe this qualifies. I've spoken with some of our more arcane brethren, and they have been unable to magically look into the land of Schult. They believe it is being blocked somehow, and we don't know what you're going into. We all feel, however, that time is of the essence. Do stand back. And she goes into this very sort of martial arts pose in front of you. And you've seen martial arts masters carve out Tai Chi katas before. All of you have. You've practiced some of them yourself.
Sure.
It's what she does starts off that way. And about halfway through, her fingers start to trace glowing magic in the air.
We found Dr. Strange.
And a portal opens before you.
That is handy.
I'm not sure that I could use this to get you back, but I can at least get you where you're going.
If I can save them, even if I do not return, it would be worth it.
Schult is not unknown in these lands. There are travelers who come and go to that place. Mayhaps you can find a way back with one of them.
Thank you. I look at the two of you, and I say, you two are now my brothers in arms, and I would give my life for you.
It seems that Providence has brought us together. Hopefully Providence shall not sunder us.
All of you do you're starting to feel, coming through the portal back the other direction, you're starting to feel the atmosphere of the place that you're going. It is very hot. It is very muggy. It is very humid.
I feel like I may have overdressed.
There are 1,000 different smells on the breeze that is blowing through. Foresty, earthy, floral smells.
I roll up my sleeves, tilt my hat over my eyes.
And as you go to step through, you actually hear a peal of thunder, and it starts to rain on the other side of the portal. Like a torrential downpour.
Yep, definitely hat on.
I think he had the right idea, I say before stepping through. I just sort of tug my coat up and as much over my head as possible.
Okay.
You don't have hats? I'll make you hats.
So Kai goes through first, followed by, and I'm going to be terrible with names for a minute,
It's okay.
Hadrian.
Yes.
Followed by Hadrian. And as you go to step through, Pei reaches out a hand. Your sister was here. And she took Sariel with her.
Of course she did.
I don't like the look of their third companion. Should you run into them in Schultz, watch out for yourself.
Kill him.
Duly noted.
She was a dwarven woman, dressed very sneakily.
What does one dress sneakily?
Hoods,
I'll
cloaks.
keep it in mind. I appreciate it. Did she take the portal?
No,
Okay.
you will beat them there.
Yeah, we got there first, but we played second.
And she lets you go.
I'm not really surprised.
Are we
at this
coming
point.
back in?
Love you, Braden.
Hate you, Keith. That's what you get for dressing sneakily.
No,
That's not
He knows who she is, though. Oh, the wheels within wheels.
Sneaky dwarfs, all sneaky.
Meanwhile, in the lens of Schultz.
I'm already there.
This portal's just gonna open in the middle of the road. You're just gonna be like, what the
Topple into it.
Meanwhile, in Schultz, no, you've just gotten off of a transport boat that you caught from the mainland. It was a long voyage, a couple of weeks. You are on your way to Schultz anyway to find your fortune, as you do. Sort of explore an area that you haven't explored yet. It's a big, wide world up here, and you want to see all of it.
Lots of sunshine.
Lots of sunshine.
Yep.
Lots of sunshine.
As we were in a torrential downpour.
It's about halfway through the trip. The sailors on your ship have been a little bit leery of your mount. So you've been in the hold.
fair.
You've been in the hold taking care of it.
I hope it didn't get seasick.
Its name is Sunshine.
So you've been in the hold taking care of Sunshine, making sure that wasn't webbing up its stall too much, that the fine hairs on her legs were sort of brushed back the right direction, that she had plenty of meat to eat. You're in the hold with Sunshine when you start to feel sort of a tingle in the side of your neck. And you haven't felt anything there for a little while. But it feels very much like 2 puncture marks. It reminds you of that time that you got spider bit real bad.
I was a vampire first. Would have been awesome.
And you've been handling the motion of the sea pretty well, but as soon as you start to feel that, you start to get a little nauseous.
Method acting.
I love it.
Put your 2 fingers down your throat.
Whoa,
We're going bully.
Too much method, not enough acting.
Yeah, exactly. Roll me a perception check real quick.
Jared Leto.
Yes, sir. Nope, that's D12. That is going to be 16.
16. You're not the only one in the hold that looks suddenly ill. But everyone seems to be manifesting it a little bit differently. One of the sailors, a couple of stalls down, is like holding his side, and it's like he's looking down like he doesn't know what the heck's going on. One of the other sailors, who's who had been lowering cargo down from above, she just sort of starts holding her belly a little bit, and they all start to get a little bit sick as well. You're not real sure what's going on, but it's freaky.
I walk over. I pat Sunshine on the head, make sure he's all comfortable.
Yep.
He-
Yeah, he's fine. He's just sort of sitting there.
He's not having any symptoms. He doesn't.
Doesn't
look
seem
like
to
he's
be.
Sick.
No,
I'm
doesn't
not
seem to
sensing
be.
any sickness.
No, he in fact he's got his forelegs sort of holding onto the hunk of meat that you had given him, just kind of chewing at it with his mandibles.
I go talk to the guy trying to load cargo.
Okay.
Kind of tug on his pant leg.
Her.
Tug on her pant leg. Excuse me.
Oh, hi. Yeah. What can I do for you?
I noticed that you don't look like you're feeling too good.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I've noticed that about a few people here. Why are you feeling sick? What, you were holding onto your stomach? Any particular reason? You weren't stabbed you in the stomach at one point?
Well, no.
I was impaled.
No, that I had a difficult birth once, and I didn't make it through it, and had to be revived. I've not felt anything like this since that, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, well, if it makes you feel better, I was killed by a spider and bit in the neck, and that's kind of bothering me now, too. So, alright, well,
Are we doing inspiration tokens?
Not for this.
Oh, okay. Because that wasn't spectacular.
That was inspiration.
Love it.
well, you're feeling better soon.
You
You look great,
You
by the
too.
way.
Thank you.
Here,
I rummage around in a little belt pouch, pull out a couple of different pieces of green or blue cloth.
here. This is a really pretty one. It's one of my favorite.
Oh,
You can have it.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I go back over to my spider.
Okay. Then she pushes through and goes back to whatever it was she was doing. Over the next week, during the rest of the trip, several of the sailors get really, really bad, get really, really sick, and have to be sort of confined to their hammocks because they're just too weak to do anything at all. It's really starting to get to you as well. Luckily, about a week or so after the fact, your ship pulls into the bay that you know leads to Port Nanzru.
The watermelons grow.
Luckily, you're not the first ship to try and make the passage today, because as you're pulling in, you notice off to the west that there's another ship sort of rocking in the perfectly calm water. And as you watch, it looks like a turtle. You don't think it's a turtle, but an enormous turtle head reaches up, snags the boat, and pulls it under.
Something tells me that flying is definitely the preferable way of travel.
Are there any members
Actually,
nearby?
actually, make a nature check for me real quick. You're a ranger. You should know these things. Or not.
Do you know
We're
these
not,
things?
so no.
That's gonna be 8.
You do not know these things.
That's a big turtle.
Keith, would you say it's a dragon-sized turtle?
Yes, I would. But it's a big turtle.
Are there crew members nearby?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Hey, how soon are we gonna be able to get off the ship? You saw that, right? Like, I'm not
Oh.
crazy.
No, Missy, you're not crazy.
Do you know what it is?
Oh yes,
What is it?
it's the dragon turtle that guards the mouth of the bay.
So,
They were stupid. When he stops you like that, you're just supposed to pay him.
and we have something to pay him with.
Oh yeah, but he's got them now. He's not gonna mess with us.
Having
All right.
inspiration.
The Academy Award goes.
We'll be at the dock in half a day.
Alright, because, I mean, I'm from the Underdark and I haven't seen anything like that before.
Oh yeah. He does that all the time. Only takes usually about three ships a week or so.
I love that Cheech and Chong are in this game.
Well, thank you.
Of course. And he goes back to coiling his ropes as he doesn't seem all that upset by the prospects.
I have a giant dragon turtle that just ate somebody.
It wasn't his ship.
It's too
It wasn't his ship, so he's fine.
We pay him in weed.
A little bit less than 5 hours. So you kind of get the sense he was being a little bit, he wasn't 100% sure how things would go. But a little bit less than 5 hours later, the ship pulls into the dock, and you're not more than half an hour after that, you're able to disembark with Sunshine right up to the quay. You speak with the dockmaster to let let him know who you are and what your business in Port Nyanzaru is. And about this time, you hear a peal of thunder, and it starts raining.
It doesn't rain in the Underdark.
Yes, it rains here all the time. Welcome to Port Nyanzaru. You may go.
Thank you.
And you're just gonna wander for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never been here before.
For being from the Underdark, you are a peppy little spitfuck.
reason why I didn't fit it down there.
Also my new favorite description.
Yes. So the city is colorful. It is absolutely gorgeous. There are all kinds of different shades of colors: oranges, pinks, purples.
Blue?
There's a lot of blue. Turquoise, blue, a little bit on the pale, baby blue kind of colors as well. So it's just all kinds of blue.
I want to buy a piece of every one of the blues.
Okay. You find a market, and in that market you find this little wizened old lady who is as dark as most Durgar you've ever seen. Thick, sort of kinky, curly hair flowing down to her shoulders. Bright pink and green headband, holding her hair back out of her face. And she looks at you, and she just grins, a big toothless grin at you, and will gladly help you take with anything that you want.
Your headband is beautiful.
She sort of nods at you. You get a sense she understands common, but she doesn't necessarily speak it.
What does she speak?
It's a local dialect, and it's one that you've never heard before.
Okay.
Try undercommon.
I pull out my little bag of scraps and show her and try to indicate that I want blue scraps of cloth.
And so she turns, and down one whole side of her little stand is just hundreds of shades of blue.
50 Shades of Blue.
I'm seeing that it's so fluffy I'm gonna die from Despicable Me.
Yeah.
I pick out 10 or 15 of the prettiest ones.
Okay.
It takes me a while.
Okay. It's very, very well done, very nice fabrics. I'm assuming all you're wanting is just like really, just like
Yeah, just little
little scraps of it.
A few inches of cloth.
Basically, it takes a little while to cross the communication barrier, but then you finally realize that the price you're agreeing on is about 7 copper. So as you're strolling down the street, rain is still sort of beating down on you. You do notice that there are people standing on the street corners with great big. It almost looks like inverted umbrellas, letting the rain fall into it. And it really, literally looks like they're catching the rainwater.
That's brilliant.
Make me a perception check real quick.
Perception.
21.
21. Okay. You hear the sound of a crowd, and it sounds like excited, like almost sporting event level crowd. And it draws you to it, and you reach one of the main, what you can only assume is one of the main streets of the city. And the intersection has actually been blocked off on 2 sides. They've strung a rope across it to hold the crowds back. There's pennants hanging from it, flapping in the breeze. The rain is still coming down, but that does not deter anyone at all. They are out in force, and they've all pressed up as close to the barriers as they can get.
How tall are these barriers?
It's going to be over your head. I mean, it's just a rope strung across the intersection.
So I'm going to mount Sunshine.
Okay.
Start leading him through the crowd.
Okay.
It usually tends to part.
Yeah. The
They
crowd.
freak
The
out a
crowd
little.
does. Once people start getting nudged by the spider limbs and look down, they start to shy away from you and your mount. And so the little bubble does open in front of you and lets you right up to the barrier.
Sunshine's a spider?
Mhm.
Is that the one who bit you?
No.
So as you get there, you look sort of both directions down the street, and as you look off in the distance, you see enormous creatures, and you just sort of keep looking up and up and up and up. And they are stomping down the street in what looks like a race. You are seeing a dinosaur race for the very first time.
Song in Jurassic Park.
And it looks like there is it looks like there's an Allosaurus sort of in the lead of the pack right as they round the corner in front of you. And as they pass in front of you, you hear this cry. And you look, and there's a tabaxi hanging from a rope over the street, and as you watch, she loses her grip and falls right in front of the dinosaurs.
Oh no.
And that's where we'll pick up later.
Are we gonna meet up, or are we done for?
We're done for the night.
Okay.
So that's our second stream, our second session 0.
Thank you.
And I think we have introduced every character at this point. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Well, almost.
We'll be back next
We gotta
week.
get creative.
We
Well,
will.
she just
We'll
fell
see you
asleep.
then. Thank you.
Yeah, she was introduced.
Who's the tabaxi again?
That's
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Kyrie.